district where I grew up in public school. And it's so emotional to hear him talk and champion these issues, because growing up as a little girl, I'm gonna have them all, by the way, soon. I can say it now. It's official. I will be having Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush on the stream on 11/24, baby. Yeah, very excited. Ever saw any elected representation that even really thought of me, let alone looked anything remotely like me.
They're so sick.
And to think
I'm
that
so
we
excited.
could fast forward and we have champions like Mondaire Jones and Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush that are now being ushered into this wave. It shows that these issues are not a fluke. It shows that they are not a flash in the pan. It shows that they are not a hot new thing. What it shows is a deep yearning for climate justice and environmental action in the United States of America. It shows a deep commitment to climate change. It shows that this isn't 2015 anymore. This isn't 2010 anymore. It's not 2005 anymore. Climate is now a top 3 issue for voters across the country. And it's about time that our Congress and our administration starts acting like it. It's way past time. But what I think is
this
so
is more
important
serious
is that
than,
every
we'll get to
single
that.
person up here represents the power of the movement. It represents the power of indigenous communities organizing, the power of young people organizing, the power of the movement for Black Lives organizing, showing that climate is intersectional with every one of our needs and demands. It is tied to the treaty rights and liberties of indigenous peoples in the United States of America. Climate action is tied to reproductive justice, because we can't talk about poison water without talking about how so many people across this country are denied the right to build a biological family because they've been poisoned by their own water. We can't talk about climate unless we're talking about the rights of young people to have a habitable planet, unless we're talking about the rights of working class people to have a job that guarantees them dignity. And it's only bold federal action that can guarantee these things. It is only that kind of transformational investment. Now, we have worked, and the movement has pushed. The movement is why I was elected to Congress. The movement is why Jamal and Cori and Mondaire are here today. You all, the movement is why Ilhan is here. The movement is why Rashida is here. The movement is why Ed Markey was protected this year. It was the movement. Because as we've been saying since day one, they've got money, but we've got people. We've got people. And at the end of the day, dollar bills don't vote, although they try to. We vote. People vote. Young people vote. And it's about time, long past time, that we recognize and understand that we owe our seats, we owe our political power because of young people, because of the movement for Black lives, because of women, because of the working class across this country. And it's a class issue, it's a race issue, it's a gender issue. That's why this work is so important. And because of the movement and the power that the movement has built, over 1 million calls were made in Texas alone. Over 1 million calls. We had calls made for, Jamal, you know how many calls were made for you in your race?
Yes.
How many?
Sunrise overall.
Yeah.
1.2 million overall, 865,000 by Sunrise.
There you go. The movement made 1 million calls for Jamal Bowman. So don't tell us about what young people can and can't do, what the movement for Black lives can and can't do, what the movement for climate justice can and can't do. And because you all have done the work, you all got us a seat at the table. We have worked with the Biden administration to secure commitment on a $2 trillion climate plan. $2 trillion. But we're not going to stop there. We're not going to stop with a piece of paper. That's not what's going to happen. We're not going to forget about that agreement for the sake of an election, are we? No. What we're going to do is that we're going to organize and demand that this administration, which I believe is decent and kind and honorable, keep their promise. So that's what our next move is to make sure that the Biden administration keeps its promise, kept its promise to young people, kept its promise to the movement for Black lives, kept its promise to communities and working class people across the United States of America. That's our message today, to keep your promise. And so we know that we don't just make that demand and walk away. We have to organize for it. We have to bring the heat for it, because there's a whole lot of people that tried to just shove a bunch of money before this election to try to buy their seat at the table. But we organized for ours, and we're not easily going to let that go. So our demand here is to make sure that we keep this promise, that we follow through on a visionary, absolutely unprecedented $2 trillion plan that's not just about money, but also it's one of the first presidential plans to honor the treaty rights of Native people. They're one of the first rights to make sure that we have environmental justice front and center, so that we make sure that we make up for redlining, that we make up for Flint, that we make up for Baltimore, that we make up for lead in the pipes across this country. So that's what this movement is all about. I want to thank you, and I don't want anybody here to think that we're not winning. Because let me tell you something, we're winning. It's working. It's happening. And
AOC isn't socialist, she's capitalist and imperialist. She wants to fuck global south with the GND. Yo, dude, you guys are great. I love lefties. Like, I love like hyper lefties, dude. You're my favorite kind of people. No, the Green New Deal wants. First of all, the Green New Deal is like already super fucking pie in the sky. Most people, if you don't describe to them what it actually entails, if you don't sell it to them as a jobs program, which is a very good way to sell it, think that it's some fucking communist pipe dream or some shit where you kill people for eating burgers or flying on a plane. And even then, there's like lefties who are still like so far removed. You should just focus on that one group. No need to roast the rest of the chat that isn't insane. Yeah, I mean, there's like still such a minor, but so vocal subsect that is just like, that's gonna destroy the global south. Like, you're wrong. Like, if your opinion is that like utilization of lithium as a consequence of like better batteries and battery improvement is going to destroy and exploit the global south, then you're an anarcho-primitivist. Like, you just want to go back to you want to go back to monkey. Like, that's what you want. Like, you're angry at renewable energy as a whole. It's silly as fuck. It's a silly fucking take.
we are going to secure a future. We're going to secure the basic tenets of a Green New Deal, a multi-trillion-dollar jobs program for climate, for environmental, racial, gender, and class justice. That's what the Green New Deal is, and we will stick to that plan. So thank you all so very much. And I hand it off to Rashida Ilhan.
Any realistic chance she runs in the future? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully. I hope she does. Americans rather kill themselves and get minimum human rights if it's under the umbrella of socialism or communism. Yeah. Like, we're not even there. Like, every form of extraction is deeply unethical currently. And like, the only person that, some of the few people that now have some clout are coming at it from like a little bit of a position of power and bargaining to make things better, both here in America. Give more opportunities, unionize, give workers more say, and you're over here fucking yelling at them. Like, you're delusional. Like, you sound crazy. I'm sorry, dude. Sorry. Sherbert Husky, I'm sorry for your loss.
Myself getting a
Anyway, do we have anyone? Is literally going to help the global south. They're being destroyed by our cobalt slavery in the Congo and being flooded. I mean, listen, it's not like, I mean, you can look to Chile and what has happened in Chile as a consequence of lithium mining. It's like one of the most vast natural resources on the planet, with the exception of like some parts of Canada and Australia. There's ways to do it that still destroy water supply for indigenous peoples in Chile right now to this day. There's a lot of people that, yeah, it's all private, exactly, and Bolivia as well. I know, but Bolivia is an up and comer. They have vast supply, but not necessarily a developed infrastructure to extract it. That was a huge problem in the last election cycle that turned into a coup d'etat in Bolivia. Like, if this is not something you can get on board with, then you're not on board with progress at all. Like, I'm sorry. And most people look to this as it's fucking crazy. Most people look at people like myself who do have a more pragmatic approach for the most part and say, I'm being delusional and my ideas are crazy. You know? Unfortunately, that's the case for the overwhelming majority of Americans. Like, they think that I'm being wild for my modest social democratic reforms that I advocate for in the short term. International Men's Day? You mean every day? Yeah, I mean every day. Most people don't really understand that in America we don't have a lot to work with. We're a near fascist oligarchy. We can't choose between like what kind of leftist we want in office. I would prefer like a socialist of the suck dens, but all we can work with right now. Anyway, the world will not be saved with eco-capitalism. That's the real naive idealism. I mean, but I don't understand what your take is here. Like, why are you considering the Green New Deal to be eco-capitalism when it literally has some of the most expansive government jobs? It's one of the most expansive government jobs programs. Like, is there some reason you're losing subs? Weren't you over 60K yesterday? Of course I'm going to be losing subs, man. This is like the lead up to fucking election day. Like, you're crazy. You're God, it's so frustrating. You say that like I'm not on board with the Green New Deal. It's the best thing we got. It's just upsetting how nobody addresses the issues that are very real. And with it, you're called a tanky. Yeah, because you want to be leftier than thou when you say that. Like, you have absolutely zero reason to believe that like the Green New Deal is going to be grossly imperialist and capitalist. You do not know that. It's not even a fucking real concept right now. It might as well be just like totally fucking made up. It might as well be a complete shutdown. Wait, what the fuck is this? Donald Rollins? I'm not going to watch this shit. It might as well be a complete fucking shutdown of all farms. Like, it's that. Green New Deal isn't eco-capitalism. These people think everything is eco-capitalism or everything is capitalism. You need to explain subs run out after 1 month, and often those gifted just can't afford to buy their second sub. Yeah. Americans want what's in front of them fixed, not stuff that will affect their grandkids like climate change is a sad reality. Uh-oh.